Hello everyone, welcome back to Chart Power. I wanted to make a quick video here because there is so much going on in the markets today, and it's not really good. We were at some really decisive points yesterday, the day before, and we've kind of gone through those areas on most charts. So let me show you where we're at. I think Chainlink, I'm going to focus on Chainlink here because not only is it one of my favorites, but it really sort of exemplifies the weaknesses in the markets right now. All right, so as you can see on the screen here, we had obviously this really nice run up, and it reached a high here of about 53. And then it just sank, broke through here, which I covered in previous videos, and actually showed some pretty decent strength, even though it got down incredibly low. It rebounded very nicely to this trend line here, which is a nice thing to see in general. Even if it's going to break down so terribly like that, at least you want to see a nice recovery like that. However, the problem started right in this zone here, okay? Because we would have liked to see it rebound to that line again, because if it goes like this, then you're still in an uptrend. So it would have been great to see it get back there. But as you can see here, I mean, it just absolutely hit a wall. And this is where everything changed for Chainlink. So what happened after that? Okay, well, you know, that was just one key area, and it could have still recovered and gone on to spectacular things, but that's not what happened. What happened was it broke through this trend line, and that is in some ways unique to Chainlink. Bitcoin and some others didn't break through that trend line in the same way. So that's why I'm looking at Chainlink right now, because it's really showing of the weaker coins in the market right now. It's showing what's going on. So it broke through this line, and it started this new downward trend like this. Yeah, and then when it broke through, well, first let me mark off the $25 level, because that is a very key level for Chainlink, which I have covered in the past. So why is that such a important level? Well, as you can see here, it has bounced on and off the $25 level quite a bit. And once it got past it, it bounced off it again, then took off. Well, all right. So when it broke through this support here, it also broke through the 25, but when it went back up, where did it bounce? 25. Okay. So everything was looking okay, all things considered, but then it hit that wall, and when it crossed below that 25 again, it came up, bounced off of it lower, came up to that 25 again, and I was certainly hoping that it would cross this 25 level and continue. But as you can see, that is not what happened. It bounced below the 25 again. And that is where we are at. And that's why things are looking not so great, certainly for the short term. And in fact, it has started another trend down in this direction. So it's just weakness all around. And having broken that $25 level, I mean, we don't really know where it's going to stop. I mean, this low here, this $15 low is basically the next stop. There's I'm not seeing a lot of support anywhere else. This maybe 17 and a half. I mean, that is just not that much of a difference. 17 and a half, 15 maybe, but it's really hard to say. There's just not a lot stopping it from continuing down. Now, this is all short-term stuff. It all started here, And before that, it was showing a little bit of strength. And of course, these alts are fairly volatile and things can change on a dime. So right now, we're definitely in a weak mode. This line does not necessarily have to happen. It could happen. But the point is that it's in a weak mode right now. So it's kind of dicey territory if you're in Link, if you're a big fan of Link. Let me show you what's been happening in the other ones. Now, Bitcoin hasn't shown as much weakness as Chainlink. Well, it's not quite as volatile. It's not an altcoin. So that's kind of what you could expect. However, Bitcoin has also broken through, I mean, a lot of support points here. So, yeah, right about here, this is what happened today in Bitcoin. It broke through here. Now, it's not looking as dire, but it's not looking great either because, well, I mean, maybe it will just stay in this range. But if it was going to go up, the probability is that it would have gone up at least from here, all right? So the fact that it's not holding, the alts aren't holding, everything is breaking through support, support zones. This horizontal line here, that was going to be hard for it to get through. And as you can see, it didn't. So what happens next? Well, the big picture is it's murky and nobody really knows. But all I can say for sure is that almost all of the markets are showing a lot of weakness, certainly in the short term. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum also clearly showing quite a bit of weakness here. It's been on this trend line for ages, right? Bouncing off of it, bouncing off of it, bouncing off of it, and look at this through here. Now, it could always wick down and then wick right back up, but considering that it's having lower highs each time here, let me get rid of some of these markings so you can really see what I'm talking about. I mean, this is just, you can say this could happen or that could happen, and it's true. I mean, things can change so quickly in these markets, but barring a big change, I mean, look at what it's doing. I mean, that's just not good. So the next area of support is right here at 2,000. All right, because we had you know, a lot of support here. Once it got through it, it sat on it for a while, bounced off of it here, bounced off of it here. So, you know, this plus it's a big round number. So 2,000 is a big area of support. If it breaks through that, again, there's no telling exactly where it might go. We can make some guesses. Obviously, nobody knows for sure. All we know is that right now, this is showing some serious weakness, like all the other ones, all right? Because, again, if it was going to be going up in the short term, you would have expected it to go up off of that line, or at least hold this line, and it didn't do that. So I keep saying most of the coins are showing so much weakness. Let me just show you a coin I covered the other day. It's called Polygon or Matic. So it has this incredible trend line here going way, way, way back. Okay. Well, actually not that far. I mean, this is a 1-day chart, so each one of these bars represents 1 day. But so, you know, let's say going back to January. It's bounced off of this. This line has held support. You can kind of consider that point there. It has really held a lot of support. And I'm not going to cover everything that I did in my video yesterday, but just real quickly, once it, I mean, if it was going to go down, the probability in the short term would have been that it would have stayed under this line here. Okay, it didn't do that. It broke through to the upside, and it's holding on this line again for now, pretty incredibly, to tell you the truth. It has this, let me zoom in here a little bit. This is really, I mean, if the markets we're going to turn around. The fact that this one is holding its trend lines despite all the other coins heading south is really showing some incredible strength. Now, of course, it could break through depending on how bad it gets with the other ones or whatever, Bitcoin and the alts. But if things do turn around, this one is looking, as I said yesterday, pretty juicy. All right. Because it's holding this line. And as I was about to say before, it wicked down to it, and you know, it looks pretty dicey at some points, but we even have a little bit of this green bar here, this green candle here forming already. And now, no telling exactly what's going to happen until it gets away from this trend line a little bit. Could go up, could go down from here. But again, if we're speaking in probabilities, if it's going to be going up again in the future, it's probably going to be going up from this line here. So I kind of wanted to cover the general weakness in the market right now, but I wanted to show you a little bit of hope with this Matic here. Again, no telling what's going to happen, but at this point, it looks kind of promising. And I am going to cover this one again in a future video. So if you liked this content, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to catch my future video on Matic, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified of that. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.